we talk?
Absolutely.
J-Bone, where you from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. Bro, J-Bone, listen to me. Man to man. Bro, you got the Brian Alvarez thing going on. What's going on over there with the headphones, bro? What's going on there with the thing? J-Bone, talk to me. J-Bone. What do you
I didn't wax today.
Oh, very nice. Okay. All right. A little too much information for me, but that's okay.
Put on the Little Mermaid, give my baby reviews, be fine.
Jiminy Christmas.
In my ass.
I just banged your wife?
Name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's John, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals, and you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.
What's up, Impact Wrestling? Let's make some noise!
Sitting here, you guys got a 15-minute intro of putting yourselves over while I'm sitting here and watching J-Bone and Kaylon and you're 50. I never saw a 15-minute intro of three guys putting themselves over.
This is the good stuff.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Total Nonstop Impact. Impact Talk for Impact fans, featured right here on the TNI Network. This is the Throwback Show. This is Trent Alt, my two co-hosts today, J-Bone and the front row legend himself, Bill Gardner. Gentlemen, what's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. Oh, J-Bone's had a day. J-Bone has had a guys. No, Jay, I'm sure you want to give a shout out. I know this listener showed you some love today. Do you want to just synopsize? I know you put it out there. You want to just thank at the top of the show. Just thank everybody or just, give everybody an update. I know we were all concerned today about Pop. Let's hear about it. Give us an update.
Yeah, today did not start as smooth as I wanted it to. I was woke up by my wife telling me that she was taking Pops to the hospital, and I was like, whoa. Just give me 5 minutes to wake up here. I'm coming with you. And so it was a very long day. He was there for about five-ish hours. Mm-hmm. We thought it was his heart because he'd been complaining of what we thought was like heartburn, the last few days. Now he woke up this morning with a lot of pressure. And we were like, no, we're not feeding you Tums today. We're taking you to the hospital. We're playing it safe. So he was there. They ran all the tests. He's got exactly what I've got. He's got gastritis just like me now. He's God blessed him with that. His heart's fine, so thank God for that.
Very nice.
So yeah, today was a little scary, and I just want to be insanely transparent with this for anyone who read my updates on any of the social medias and gave prayers, well wishes, positive vibes, thoughts, whatever anybody did. I don't care what anyone says out there. We as a group, this podcast family, we have the best people out there watching, listening. Thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you, guys. Hey, listen, we're all one big family here, and J-Bone's going through something. We're all going through it. So definitely, Jay, I know you're very appreciative of him. So yeah, guys, thank you all. Whoever reached out to Jay, Thank you guys for doing that. So he's here. He took his mind off of a very crazy episode today at TNA number 32. I know that got your mind off a couple of things. We're going to get to that, Jay. Bill?
Yeah, it took me a while to get through it, but yeah, we are
a
here.
Nutty one. Bill, how's your Thursday going? Throwback Thursday. How's it going?
Throwback Thursday is going good. Yeah, it was catching up on this episode earlier today, and yeah, this was a wild one. I remember this one. This was one I remembered. But this was some crazy time. So it's a good throwback.
It is.
Although funny thing is, obviously it's in the picture, not a spoiler. That Sandman appears on this episode. I just saw the Sandman last weekend.
Oh, was he? He was at that show. He was at the show.
Yeah, he did a run into Enter Sandman at the deathmatch drive-in show, the No Holds Barred.
Really?
No kidding.
And he honestly doesn't look that much different.
He doesn't. I think he's pickled, really is what it is. He's just been pickled with all the alcohol.
Yeah. he's got the Keith Richards.
Pretty much. He's just setting, that's it. It's just a timepiece at this point. But that's cool. I didn't know that. Very nice. Well, that's nice. Yeah, we're gonna talk about, like I said, he is in the screenshots. We know there's a debut going on, but man, this was a wild one. This was February 12th, 2003. This was Abraham Lincoln's birthday, February 12th, Lincoln's birthday. I don't know. The only reason I know that offhand, guys, because it's in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's the only reason I know that offhand. And
be excellent to each other.
I was going to say someone paid attention during geometry class. Oh, no, wait. No, that's American history. Never mind.
You have to cut your mic this early, Jay. We're talking two different subjects here.
We talking Socrates?
Socrates.
Socrates.
Peace oven. Be careful. Don't get sucked under. Like, what a great movie. Anyone who hasn't seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I need you to stop watching this and go watch that and then come back and watch this.
Hit the pause.
Classic stuff. We'll definitely be talking about there was a wild time. The show opened. Let's get into it. We had any news, Jay? But not really much news since Tuesday. Has there been anything since Tuesday's show that we have to report on?
No, just, like I said, just keep watching the socials. Everyone's giving their little hints. There's sites out there that are confirming this and confirming that. It's like, all right, just ignore that and just pay attention to all the little hints of people showing up. Don Callis threw a couple of, almost you could call them dead set ones, because I watched Aftershock.
Yeah,
I always forget that show's name. I'm sorry. I watched Aftershock. He was talking about nailing mosquitoes with a machine gun, and that he was going to have to go see a doctor. And it's like, there you go. Yeah, doc and machine gun.
Well, the one that we can mention about all that, there was a handful of them. Bill, you probably saw this. The handful of them in Atlanta doing something.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. I don't know if it was on the watch along with Jay or if it was on the Tuesday show, but because I had mentioned Penzer said he showed a plane ticket going to Atlanta. Mike and Maria were on a plane. Tommy Dreamer were on a plane. So there was a lot of people in the know, and it seems confirmed that there was definitely some Atlanta. There was something being filmed in Atlanta. We don't know what, but something.
And there was a shot of D'Amore setting up Swinger's Now Twitter account.
Yeah, now we know that Swinger, D'Amore, some others, they were in Atlanta as well. So we know there was Impact-related activities
going on
Atlanta.
Which, by the way, Johnny Swinger finally got control of his...
Everybody follow the Swingman.
Swinger_Johnny, because he had another one, Johnny Swinger 2.
Yeah, the one he's supposedly locked out of for years. Yeah,
it's just been there forever.
But I love how he's doing it. He's just taking screenshots of Facebook.
That's what he does on Instagram. You ever follow his Instagram? He basically posts like if you gave my dad Instagram, my dad just got an Instagram for his business, and I was talking him through just how to see his profile page last night. I'm like, I would exactly expect my dad to screenshot and post that, no context, basically a parent running Instagram. That's exactly what it is. But I love that. So no, it's fun. So yeah, who knows what's going on? I don't know. Nothing's been leaked. Again, real hush hush. I don't know. They've signed everyone to a non-disclosure because nothing is leaked out, which I think is great.
That is great.
So, and I want to point out, Real Heels mentioning that the only legit cheat is Dirty Sheets. I agree. We're going to be talking to Billy Body of the Dirty Sheets in the post-Slammiversary show coming up next weekend. And I got to tell you guys, Billy's kind of an underground, but also a very renowned dirt sheet guy. He has information that like nobody has, and he's very upfront about it. He goes, I have direct sources on the inside who purposely, we work together to get me information. I don't name names on who the sources are. I give me verified information. I don't cross certain boundaries that they give me. And dude, he's been right like constantly in the last like few months. It's unbelievable. So the dirtysheets.com, sheets with a Z, I believe. Check him out, but he also does the show on the Russo brand recently. He just started doing what's it called? The Nitty Gritty Dirt Show. So check that out too, guys. This guy's got some stuff, and I'm curious. He mostly has been talking about WWE and the Corona stuff and all the infections and some AEW controversies going on, but I'm curious what he's going to bring to us on the post-Slamversary show, Jay. This guy's going to have some interesting stuff to tell us, I think. I got a weird feeling about this.
We're going to have to talk to him soon because that's we got one more. We got the go home and then the following Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be I'll connect with him at some point over the next week and just kind of lock down a time, because I figured, guys, the idea for us is it's a Saturday night. We'll go live right after the show's over. I figure we'll just go live right after. Saturday night, we're all gonna be up. It's a party. Get some food. I'll get some pasta. I'll probably go grocery shopping by then. You know, we'll make a party out of it, and we'll go live right after that. Yeah, so
please don't starve yourself till Slammiversary, for crying out loud. If you want to get you some groceries, just freaking eat. Okay?
Jay, I think I can make it. Just looking at the fridge, it was a little tight yesterday, but I figured out. I learned some more tricks. I think I got another 7 days in me. I think I got another week in me.
All right. Trent, cutting pads of butter off the butter sticks does not count. Okay? You need food, okay?
I had I'll tell you this, my coup de grace was I had a 5-pound just brick of real premium ground beef that I got at Whole Foods. I'm talking like I have 5 pounds of that real grade A stuff. I don't know if it's a Whole Food shopper here, but I spend the money on this one. And I got 5 pounds. And that was in the freezer. And I'm like, I'm come to the point now where I got to thaw that fucker out. And that's what happened. I thought it's going to be burgers for 5 days, boys.
There you go.
Burgers and rice. But I'm going to make it. I'm going to stretch it. Now, I told the nurse, I said, you know what? I think I'm caving. Next week's going to have to be, I think Friday. Actually, not even next one. Friday's going to have to be grocery day. She's like, really? Awesome. Let's go. She's super excited to get me groceries.
So you got to get loaded up for Slammiversary.
I know. That's the thing.
Quick warning.
Yes.
We got storms going overhead. If they knock me out, just keep going. I'll be back in 5. All right.
You got it. I'm on the main account here, Jay. Don't worry. We'll keep it up. We'll keep it going. So, all right, guys, let's jump into it. NWA-TNA number 32, February 12th, 2003. As I ask every week. Now, that's the traditional question. Bill, I'm going to start with you. Where were you on February 12th, 2003?
February 12th. I'll just say I was honoring Honest Abe in some way. What else would I be doing?
All right. J Bone, where were you? If it wasn't Checkers, where were you on February 12th, 2003?
Well, that was a decade before that.
It was a Wednesday night. We know that for sure. I know that. I can tell you that. It was a Wednesday.
Sure. She was.
I was at my buddy Dave's couch watching it with the Chinese takeout, as we know. Where were you, J Bone? And then why was it Checkers?
Let's see. This is the day before
carry the one, multiply the 3.
I was already regretting the next 2 days. We'll just put it that way.
Okay. Oh shit! This is right before Valentine's Day, guys. That's a rough go. Holy shit! All right, sounds good. Well, clearly, because I was watching this on a Wednesday night on Valentine's week, I was definitely single in 2003. That's for sure. I remember later this year I got into a very tumultuous relationship, but we'll get to that probably around NWA-TNA number. I'm looking more in like the maybe in, what are we on, 32? Maybe by 45, I'm going to be in a very blissful time. Things will be okay, but then things take a nice little turn. We'll coincide my stuff along then. But let's jump in, guys. We opened up with a tribute video, a 10-bell salute for Curt Hennig, who passed away just 2 days prior to this. That was a rough one, man. Curt Hennig died February 10th, 2003. That was, and it was a cocaine overdose, which was I remember at the time, guys, it was real hard to accept that happened. Like, that was weird. I mean, Bill, I imagine you were all kind of in a similar age range. We grew up with Mr. Perfect. That's, oh yeah, a tough one, huh?
Yeah, Mr. Perfect of one of my favorites growing up. Like, always felt like a guy that you were like, why isn't he the top guy? Like, absolutely. I know in AWA he had his run, but like when he went to WWF, how was he just that Intercontinental Champion? Like, how was he never the focus? Because he was just like that best pure wrestler on the roster. It always seemed. And obviously with the whole, and we saw with Moose mimicking those commercials, the Mr. Perfect doing the sports.
That's
right.
It
was fantastic. That was one of the best vignette series ever. I
love that stuff.
I know this was a time where we had seen a lot of wrestlers. Like, this was kind of that period where you saw a lot of those guys we were growing up with passing away of all different.
Yeah.
Like the whole, like, Motel 6, there's another guy. Like, it was like, there was just a litany. It was like, that WrestleMania, half the roster's dead. And that was 6 years ago. Like, it was crazy times. But yeah, Mr. Perfect was one of the ones that definitely hit hard because he didn't seem that old. Like, he didn't seem like and he wasn't that old. Like, this was
44, I think, right?
Yeah.
He was 44 years old. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, at the time, this is 18 years ago, or 17 years ago. I mean, I was 21, but I mean, shit, at the time, like 44 it seemed older. I was like, oh man, not that old, but it seemed, I'm 39 this year. And I'm like, damn, that's like right there. He always seemed like an older guy to me, but he was not that old, man. And I know, Jay, you're a huge Curt Hennig guy. You're a big fan.
Yeah.
This one sucks. This one sucked. This was a hard one to accept.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the Heenan family growing up, and Curt Hennig was always a huge part of that. That highlight video that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
Him, throwing the football, catching his own throw.
The best one.
Basketball swish from half court or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That whole thing,
It was absolutely perfect, Jay.
Absolutely.
It was absolutely perfect. And this was still kind of a dark time where people were passing away from that kind of. This whole year, 2003, was really dark because we lost Rick Rude. Was it shortly before this or after this?
Rude, I think, is after this because it was a whole thing with the Minnesota guys. Because then Hawk is the next year. It was all that Minnesota crew. It was like perfect Rude Hawk and like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Later this year, we lose Malice later this year. In 03. It's a tough year, man.
This was tough, and it was that whole string, and then that was finally when the industry finally started cracking down on drugs and really started paying more attention to people's bad habits and started to do testing. But yeah, I mean, they started it out proper. They had his boots in there, the classic towel, nice picture of him, 10 bill salute, just a spotlight on that.
It was tough. I know that from what I remember reading at the time, he had gotten real close with AMW. He took him under his wing. Like the couple months he was there, he got real tight with those guys. And you could see it later on. We'll talk about in the match. There's a little tribute to him in there. But they got real tight with him. He became kind of a locker room veteran for him around this time. And it was a tough loss because I think they were really looking towards him being that guy, like a senior member of the locker room to kind of guide some of these, maybe go into that agent role later on. So definitely a big loss. I love Mr. I met him just mere months prior to this. I ran in, walked out on a show, and a bunch of kids just saw him walk out. We all just rushed the kids. I was 22, whatever. Kids rushed them at, from the bleachers down. And we're like, oh my God, Mr. Perfect. And he I was just handing him something like little paper or something, program, and he just was taking random ones, just signing them. He signed mine. I got a Mr. Perfect autograph on a program, so that's kind of cool, yeah. But definitely a rough loss. We go right in from that though, guys. They go off air clips from episode 31 of what happened to Jarrett after last week's went off the air, and dude, he got whipped like a dog. Holy shit! My notes literally say real rough. They beat the piss out of him. That's some intense shit, man. I mean, Bill, I don't know. I've gotten my ass handed to me a few times, by the old man for screwing around, but that was
that was very reminiscent of ECW, Tommy Dreamer, Please Sir May I Have Another. They just kept laying it in, like welding them up pretty good, letting all of sports entertainment Xtreme take a whale on them. It was something. It was something, all right.
It was intense, man. Definitely intense.
It was to the point that they begged forgiveness from the viewing audience for the language used because
Don drops an F-bomb. Yeah.
He does.
He's like,
what the fuck is going on here?
I didn't even catch it. I heard them say, please excuse the language. I'm like, what did I miss? I didn't hear the F-bomb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he squeaked. They censored it, but he squeaked it out. It was hilarious.
I love it. We go right to that with TNA in the ring. Something caught my ear right here.
Oh, I know what it is.
He's setting up.
It's great.
You just hear one asshole, one guy, 700, 1,000 people in this building. You just hear some kid go, "Suck it today."
It was fantastic because that was the only audible thing you heard. Suck it today. And then he gets like his little angry today faces. I want the angry today faces.
Slight twinge, but I was like, what? Why did I hear that guy? There's almost 1,000 people in this building. I'm hearing that guy.
He just went off. Yeah, it's great.
Unbelievable.
There was a section directly behind him, up a few rows. Right in the hard camera section, right behind the ring, about halfway back, there was a handful of guys. If you watch throughout the show, there's a handful of guys just getting into the upper bleacher section. They start a few chants. Most of them are inaudible, but you hear.
Yeah, they were definitely the smarks.
And then the rest of their crowd goes, and pops for them. So, yeah, you see that on and off throughout the show, and it's probably the same guys. It's hilarious. This was a wild crowd.
Yeah. Bill, you probably know. There came a period. You went to a lot of indies in the early 2000s, I'm sure. In the mid and early 2000s, I went to a lot. And there became a thing, this obsession, which still lasts today. I'm sure you see it. I know in the last year it's kind of calmed down. But for a long time, there was always a thing about fans wanted to get the laugh out of other fans by doing some stupid reference or some stupid chant to
sadly that still happens. Maybe a little less just because there hasn't been shows in months, but
yeah, maybe that's why.
Maybe the heyday was a couple years ago, but the ones that are just there to like go to some other promotions show and chant, "You look like this guy."
Oh, it's the worst. Knock off this or
knock off whoever, knock off guy from WWE,
or like the reference to like something that wrestler in the ring did 20 years ago, and it's like I'm gonna be the smart guy to call that out. It's like, oh, shut up, like
same thing. Well, you being in a band, same thing happens at concerts all the time.
All the time.
Well, like my one buddy got called out because we were at like a Butch Walker concert, and he called out his like metal band in the 80s. And he's like, "Hey, I had a different name. I was in a band before that. You think you knew it? You did it."
You hear a funny story about Butch Walker? I'll tell you a funny story. Around 2003, figure this out. You bring up Butch Walker of all people. I had a girl I was seeing, and she cheated on me with Butch Walker.
What?
She cheated on me with Butch Walker.
Oh, Butch.
She was real tight because he was from where? He was from Georgia. Where was that guy from? I'm trying to remember where he was from. But she was real tight friends with him. Like she became real close friends with Butch Walker years back, like prior to him. He was from Georgia. He was from Rome, Georgia. She was from a town like outside of like Atlanta, maybe like 45 minutes from Atlanta. So she knew Butch like indie days, right? So they went back. So she was like, "I'm gonna go see Butch Walker, my buddy." And he said, "We're gonna hang out backstage, blah blah blah." And I didn't think any of the other childhood friends. Come to find out, the only time I know of I've been cheated on. She cheated on me with Butch Walker, of all things. I got cheated on by this fucking guy.
You are a true rock star.
I'm telling you, man. I tell you,
you got the rock star story.
The funny thing is, I started the band later this year in 2003, so maybe I did it out of spite at the end of the day. Man, I want to be a rock star too and be someone else's John, But who knows? But anyway, this was interesting, guys. So TNA announces that Bullet has asked for a leave of absence. I think this is Bullet's official exit. I think he's out after this. And I never got the full story why. Maybe it's getting tired. Maybe it wasn't like a new direction. I'm not really sure what the real story is.
I'm already missing Bullet.
Me too.
Didn't he come? Yeah, I mean, his last several episodes with just losing, tearing his hair out with the Goldie segments. God damn it, Goldie! What the, didn't he come back a couple years later when they were on Fox?
He might have. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to get anybody in the chat and remembers. I'm trying to remember if Bullet came back. I don't recall, but he says that he's leaving because things got a little too personal. The new director of authority is announced as J.J. Dillon, and Russo and S.E.X. interrupt right away. Russo in the ring. He goes right into, calls J.J. a piece of shit. He says, you have the audacity to show up after what you tried to do to me in WCW. Like, he goes right in to the insider talk, which I'm thinking, if you're a casual fan here, you have no idea what this is all about. You're thinking, what is going on here?
Dillon doesn't even get 2 seconds on the mic, and Russo's music hits, and Dillon's just like,
shit,
here we go.
He calls him worthless. You're a piece of shit.
This guy took my job. Oh, Russo just
he went
Dillon.
He talked about him, Kevin Sullivan. JJ gets on the mic and talks about Russo suffers from selective amnesia and denies Russo's claims. He calls out he calls Russo out on quitting on Vince McMahon on the phone as opposed to how he did it when he did it in person. So he basically says that Russo at this point is laying down the ring, just mocking the fact that JJ is unbelievably boring. Before they even got to that, guys, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's putting me to sleep.
I was feeling Vince on this one.
I was too. And I got to say, it's funny because I believe a running joke with Conrad Thompson is that JJ's podcast is a snooze fest. Like, it's a running inside joke. They dog the fact that he'll put you to sleep because he's so monotone and dry.
He worked when he was with the Horsemen in that role, but man, is this role, it's too much for him. And you could even hear this was the beginning, and it became a theme throughout the show.
Yeah, it
sex
was
chants. You heard the sex chants during this,
big time. And I noticed one thing he says. He just goes out to the crowd. Anybody else bored? And the whole crowd goes, yes. The Harris boys go up to grab JJ, but the Sandman debuts, makes the save, gets out there. Crowd goes nuts. They just go bananas at the Sandman. Great. I've seen Jay do that a couple times at all Bound for a Weekend. He was Sandmanning it with the light beers just all over the place. But Bill, let me ask.
It's how I almost got kicked out of All Glory.
That's right. But let me ask you. You went to ECW back in the day. You were at those shows. Were you at the Sandman return from WCW show? The one that, to me, is the loudest pop I've ever heard in any arena. Were you at that show?
I was at that show.
Oh my God. How deafening was that? I still, to this day, is the loudest pop I've ever heard in my life. That
might be. So, Sandman was so over with that crowd. For his return, that's the thing. Those loudest pops were when those guys returned, when those mainstays made their returns back from being up north. When they or down south, when they made their return, that's when it really popped. It really popped, and also really popped during the Lawler stuff. Because that stuff was unexpected. It's someone from WWF's in here. What's going on?
Were you at that?
Those unexpected pops were kind of there. But I know we talked before. It was they had a lot. They would bring in these guys that you didn't expect. There's Dr. Death. There's the Steiner Brothers, and they got good pops. But it was those ones that they built on their own, like Sabu, Taz, the Sandman, the Public Enemy. Those were the big pops.
That's great. To this day, I think about that. It's damn, that pop. And he got a big pop here, man, for that show up. So pretty good. Sandman's a big part of this episode. We're going to jump into that for sure. We got a recap of the tag team title match from last week. The title's held up. So we got a little reminder what happened with that whole insanity. Now so they've announced a tournament now. Tag team title tournament. Titles are held up. Which is a little weird that they don't just have the match against the two teams that got held up against. It's kind of well, shouldn't they just fight again because they're held up? But you just took them into
They do explain it. They kind of Don tries to explain it on why we see, because those teams kind of like everybody in the picture has beaten each other.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though they're held up, and that's why, since they were the defending champions, they're getting the pass. They're getting the pass to the finals.
Gotcha.
Triple X. But it's a little bit of a stretch.
It's a stretch. At least they tried with the logic, though, huh, Jay?
Yeah, they did try to give logic to, because I think they knew, like, does this make sense?
Yeah, a little tough.
Yeah, it. If anything, yeah, you could have went the easy way out, but it pops the whole division. It shows how strong the whole division is if you get, 4 of the top tag teams in there duking it out for it.
Yeah, and obviously in this first one, you're going to have a rub match, so that's
absolutely
it helps.
No, that's a good point. That's a real good point.
And people love a tournament. They, who's
love a tournament.
Everybody
love a tournament.
You love a tournament. I love tournaments. I'm a huge mark for it. Everybody. I feel like everybody is. Everybody just gets suckered into loving tournaments, man. Take that comment down.
Well, speaking of Lollipop, did you notice the TNA girl in this episode?
She was in there. Lollipop is in there, man.
Lollipop's in there.
So J-Bone, this is your daughter, obviously. She's in there with a lollipop in the cage. This is either your daughter or side. So you got some explaining to do.
I'm
thinking, got some explaining to do.
I'm thinking like in an alternate universe, she's like, like my one true love or something.
I went the other way, but
I walk past the cage and be like,
"Hello, darling." Round 1, AMW and the Rock and Roll Express. Kind of a big deal. It's the second time they're doing this. This match was better than the other one. Real old school feel on this one. It had a real like torch pass kind of in a way too. Had that fun little like vibe. I know these guys, they knew each other. Yeah, they've been a little familiar, not too crazy, but I did love AMW doing the double drop kick. Kind of Rock and Roll Express is heel here, which is always weird to see to me. Them being heels is strange.
Very strange. Very strange.
Talk about alternate universe.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like booing, like we're supposed to boo. How the hell are you supposed to boo the Rock and Roll Express?
They're so used to just seeing them walk through the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, and for some reason, every time they walk through a crowd, there's never barriers to Rock and Roll Express. So like usually they're just. Like, I know there's the old footage of them just being, like, killed by the fans in the crowd. Like, yeah, rock and roll!
Yeah.
And then, like
high fives and hugs.
Seeing the fans not interested in rock and roll is like, what?
And smooch all the blondes, and they're just walking around, middle fingers to everyone. It's like, what the?
The nurse is calling. Should I take the call? Let's put her on speakerphone.
Hey, nurse!
There we go. Hold on. We're going to put the nurse. You're on speakerphone. You're on the Throwback show right now.
Throwback.
So say hello, like Bill's here and Jay's here, and all the listeners. So you can say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right, well,
hello, nurse.
They're saying hello, nurse. So you're making your little cameo. We're doing the Throwback show, so I'm gonna have to call you back. But I wanted you to say hello to your fan base here.
She's welcome to jump in the chat.
We need to have something where we meet everybody and have social distancing hugs.
Well,
there is a cheesesteak day coming up.
Sterilize ourselves first. I don't know.
There's
I need hugs.
There's the cheesesteak day coming up. Bill wanted to remind us. So cheesesteak day is coming up at some point. So might have to go out
August 1st.
August 1st.
Yeah, we did that. Remember, we had all our.
You did do it. You did do it.
So
we've been there, done that. Old news.
I don't know. I can always.
We'll do a cheesesteak celebration like Impact's doing, and call you in on Zoom.
Bill said we'll do a cheesesteak celebration, and we'll call it in on Zoom. We'll do it that way, like a big party. All right. Well, the request is for you to jump in the chat and roast me like you do every show, so you can feel free to do that. We have to get back to the review though.
All right, I'm on my way. Roast them on up.
All right. See ya. Bye. All right. Well, my crucifixion's coming up in the chat here, so guys, be ready to jump on that.
We got to take it easy on Trent tonight after you telling that Butch Walker story.
I take it easy. I don't think
you've had enough tonight.
I don't think she knows about that one. So she goes back to listen to this one. She's gonna hear that story. But goddamn, I swear to God, every time that bastard's name came up, I was like, of all this fucking guy. This is funny, man. But no, but good stuff. Listen, all right. So, so this is what I loved about this, guys. You see this. Harris pins Morton with a perfect plex, and they do the point to the sky. I mean, you can see a little visible emotion on those guys. You could see it on them. They just definitely was not an easy day. Not an easy day for him.
Yeah.
But Loki jumps him afterwards. Loki was like the mosquito. You couldn't get a
He was
everywhere this show. Just a goddamn mosquito. It wouldn't stop bothering you the whole show.
That didn't wear a mask. Get out of here, Loki.
It definitely wasn't wearing a mask then. He sure did not have a mask on there either. So, all right. Well, we'll see. Loki definitely comes into play again here, guys. We got a Goldie in the back. She's trying to ask Russo, who are you waiting for? He's outside, actually. Who are you waiting for? He's like, leave me alone. Oh, he's all frustrated, flustered. And Raven shows up casually, not a care in the world. Russo starts drilling him, guys, going, hey, what's the big idea? Your buddy, the Sandman, shows up here. He's like, wait, who? The Sandman? Like, Raven has no idea this happened. He's shocked. He's like, what are you talking about, Sandman show? He's like, oh, don't bullshit me. Out of nowhere, Sandman just rides like a ball of fire, comes in, starts attacking them.
He comes right in with that cane. I thought Goldie was going to get it for a second.
I thought she was going to get caught in the crossfire, man. She looked like she was about to. Goldie was looking great on this show. Goldie looked phenomenal on this episode.
She had a different look. For a second, I had to do a double take. I'm like, is that the Goldie that we know?
That's what I'm thinking. She did have a different look. She looked different on this one.
I feel like Desire got to her.
Maybe, man. Maybe like she gets conscious. And Desire really put a number on her.
Oh.
What do we got? What do we got here? What do we got?
He's gone.
We
got nothing.
We got nothing. We had a little message being told to us. Somebody was in the back, but I guess they left. I saw it too, J-Bo.
I was looking at the chat, and all of a sudden I looked down.
Thought it might be Bob.
Well, might have been Bob would have been good. But this is the cool thing. Same camera shot. We run through. Sandman, he just goes into the arena, lights a cigarette, and just starts walking in. Just hangs. Just hangs
part of the crowd.
Just hangs the crowd having a cigarette. This guy's great, man. So we go from that. Another round one tournament. Harris Brothers taking on the New Church. I called this a hoss match. This was just big boys just beating the shit out of each other. This was awesome. I liked it a lot. Mid-match, we get an announcement. AJ and JJ next week for the title.
Yeah.
So we got that title match is on. That's on already. And then Raven and Sandman for the main event later this evening. Loki again interferes in this one, guys. And Lee gets distracted. Brian Lee and the Harris boys win and they advance. So now you got AMW and the Harrises that have now advanced to round two. So that's Triple X is definitely it's weird because Low Key was the only one there.
The only one there.
No,
must have been an off night.
had to be an off night. Had to be those guys had to be on tour somewhere else because it was just Low Key. So I don't know what was up with that, but he was definitely a nuisance on this one.
You know what?
What's that?
Did you notice who they talked about a lot throughout this episode? Certain people doing tours in other places.
No, who they mentioned?
They mentioned a Japanese company. Now I'm going to forget it. It says 01.
01.
Okay.
That was Muda's promotion, right?
Yes. Yeah, zero.
At one point, I think it was 01.
I believe so.
So a lot of these guys would go back and forth between TNA, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor they're mentioning.
And Japan.
NWA Wild Side got a lot of mentions.
That was a big one, yeah. They did a lot of that.
Yeah. So it was just interesting. So don't be surprised if you get some people in here once in a while, some new faces, and you don't see a couple others for a while. My guess is they're touring.
Yeah. What it seems like. Just some tours, some filler, some guys coming through in and out. Now I got to address a comment here. Somebody wants to light one up with me here. Hurricane. I've never lit one up in my entire life. I've never had a J or a bong rip or anything. I'm a straight edge. I've had a cigar. I'll definitely do my cigars. But no. None of the narcotics for me. I'm a straight.
How about you and Gamma? Would you and the great Gamma?
This is the good stuff.
That good stuff. The good stuff. See, the good stuff just tobacco. That's the thing. It's just that really strong good stuff. Maybe.
Did somebody say the good stuff?
The good stuff. Oh, how quick was that? He got it just for that. He was waiting.
It's like the bat signal. It's like he sees the leaf. He's like,
this is the good stuff.
just knows when to come in. Knows when to come in.
It said that I was faster than the sliders at In-N-Out Burger. My goodness.
Or Checkers, one or the other. I don't know, but something. Where's that? We got a T-shirt coming for you guys. I swear. Wrestle One, by the way, Bill. That was Wrestle One that they're talking. 01 was Hashimoto's. Wrestle One was Muda's. Wrestle One's that one that they did the partner show a while ago. I think we froze Bill Freeze.
I think that means Bill had too many beers. Look at him.
Oh, Bill froze.
Bill, you got to stop drinking so much, man.
Oh, we lost Bill.
I like him like this. Look at him. He's beautiful.
Mr. Freeze hit him. What the hell?
Let him know. Let him know. We're going.
No. I need to get a screenshot of this and like frame this. Look at him. He's beautiful. Look how beautiful he is.
He's smiling. He's smiling. Get your screenshot. Get your screenshot. Where are you? Where are you right now?
Yeah, I'm on my couch, Trent. You know, I'm angry because I shattered my cell phone again. I got no phone. I'm just angry. I'm pissed off at the world, and it's my. Listen to this story. You know, I'm gonna give you my scumbag story, and then I'm gonna go back in the chat room.
Let Bill know to pop out and pop back in while
Bill will be back any minute. Bill will be back in a minute. No, he's black. No, he's black. All right. Well, no. So, you know, I needed to get a new SIM card. Nothing wrong with my phone. Nothing at all. Not a crack on it. I've had the same phone for about a year now. Since Bound for Glory, I'd say, Trent, when I broke my phone last time. And phone's been in great condition. But the SIM card fried out. So I go to the phone store today just to get a SIM card. And they were going to give it to me for free. I step out of my car, drop my cell phone, shatter it into pieces. Glass broken. And I got no phone. I went there for a SIM card and broke the entire cell phone. So if anybody in the Long Island, New York area has a Verizon smartphone for me to borrow for the night, that would be great.
Where's Whoopsie? Where's Whoopsie at the hell? You don't have one of these cases? You gotta get one of these cases, man.
Yeah. And I have an OtterBox. I took it out of the OtterBox for 5 minutes and it broke.
I'll tell you what, you get one of these screen protectors though. These they're $5 at Five Below. You got Five Below out in Long Island?
I got like $100 OtterBox, Trent. That's not the point. I took it out of there for 5 minutes and it broke.
That's where you fucked up there, God. No, you need the screen protector. That's what the key is. It's a $5 screen protector. I'm telling you. You just put it right on there. You never
from now on, Kyle. All right, you listening?
From
now on, Kyle, before you leave the store, you shove it all the way up your ass and get to the car. Then you're good.
I'm out. That's creepy.
That was not the good stuff.
The transition between you and Kyle just now was fantastic.
That was borderline seamless. That was great. Kyle's out while Bill's in. All right, we continue.
Hot tag.
We continue here. All right. I don't know if you caught any of that story there, Bill, but Kyle's had a misfortune of a day as well with his phone.
Oh no, I'll have to catch it on the rewind.
Oh, don't worry, Bill. I'm in the back. If you mention me, I'll just show up. I broke my cell phone today. That's what happened. Listen, I went to get a new SIM card. There was nothing wrong with the phone, just the SIM card. And I got to the Verizon store, and the phone fell out of my lap. Like when I opened the car door, it shattered. Just shattered.
Oh.
Last screen just shattered. Now, you know, I can't talk to my girl. I can't talk to Trent. I can't talk to you, Will. I can't talk to nobody. I feel like I got a limb cut off. You don't know what it's like losing a cell phone.
I've had it. After like one time getting water, I always go with some type of case that like waterproof, shatterproof case. Like
gotta
get it now.
Well, I've taken enough from the TNA talk. You guys go back.
So what are you on right now?
I'm back in my. I'm gonna go back to my rat's nest in the TNI basement over here.
He's on his laptop right now.
He's on his laptop. Oh, well, hope to God he doesn't shove that up his ass.
Laptop can't fit up my head.
I mean, he's been to prison. I mean, for God's sake. I mean, who knows what can fit up there anyway? At this point, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Hey, let's move on here. All right.
That was juvenile hall. That wasn't prison.
All right, Kalon, everybody. Kalon. We'll be popping in again before this episode's over.
That was rough. That was rough.
We get a little recap.
Hey, Kalon, how you doing?
Kalon, how you doing? Sayaki and Kash will recap. This is a X Division.
Hey, Vince Russo, how you doing?
How you doing?
I spit out my dum-dum.
Alicia loses it at that clip. She can't handle that clip. She loses her shit at that one. It's so perfect. So perfect. All right, Siaki and Kash. This is it. The X title match. This one they built up for a couple weeks now. The crowd is super into this. Crowd's hot. Siaki with Desire, Kid Kash with Trinity. I think at this point Trinity is like crazy over, and they even mentioned that she's going to be she's a stunt woman in the upcoming Daredevil movie that's coming out
that weekend. Yeah,
that weekend, and a bunch of other TV shows and stuff like that. So Trinity's on fire right here. She's having a good 2003, and the crowd's just loving it. The great match. It was an awesome match. The women got involved perfectly. It was just such an awesome match, though, Bill. I love this back and forth, man. This was fun. This is a lot.
Yeah, no, this was a great match. Obviously, they both did a lot of stuff in this. They both look good in it. I thought both Desire and Trinity both played their roles well in this with the interferences. They didn't look out of place like at times they've done in this feud. So I thought this came over well. Obviously, the only negative was kind of the finish.
Yes,
because the finisher got botched and luckily he didn't kill himself. But he made the save to do it in the pin. But I'm sure that's not what they wanted to do. If this wasn't a live show, I'm sure he would have went up and did it a second time.
Yeah, this was rough. Jay, I know you've probably twinged at seeing that because he for anybody who didn't see it, Kash goes up for his finish is basically let's say he's facing the inside of the ring. He does like a little hop up, turn around.
Yeah, it's a little like best moonsault ever type thing.
Yeah, in a way, kind of but from the top position.
From the top, yeah.
He hits that top rope, right leg slips, maybe the sweat, whatever it is, and he comes down right on his head and neck. But he kind of rolled. It was by chance he kind of still was able to roll through the flip part of it,
and he caught him a little bit. So like it was. So he saw it was the right play for him to do.
Yeah.
But it was just tough. and even Don had to point it out. He's like, that he did it.
That was sick. He's like, I don't know how he finished that, but somehow he had the presence of mind to grab the leg because he landed awkwardly, but just right. He still was on top of him.
He still rolled through
and grabbed the leg and then pinned it. But as soon as he rolled off of him, he just was laying there for a while, just completely motionless. But you could tell he was like,
scary moment.
Ow, yeah, stinger. Yeah,
it's a scary moment, man. But he wins new X Division champion, Kid Kash. This starts a very, very good reign, guys. I remember this Kash reign, the Trinity Alliance. This is a very good story. Definitely strap in for this one. This was a good one. Actually, I want to take a poll too, Jay. I want everybody in the chat who has actually been watching along with us on these. Who's watching along on these with us on every week in order? Like we're watching them every week here. So who's actually watching with us like the week of? So let's find out. I'm just curious to know who's in there watching with us. But
hey, just for the record, I am.
I hope you are.
Or those that do have a great memory.
Yeah, that too.
I remember, I did. Like this was one I did remember some of these because I remember the Sandman stuff pretty well. But a lot of these, obviously, I don't remember these shows in entirety, so I need a rewatch.
But as you're watching, you kind of jog your memory because the Sandman debut and
I remember the Perfect Plex by AMW in that match, like stuff like that, like little you get little reminders, little nuggets that come back from it.
Big time. No, I agree. Some of these stick out for sure. But no, this is a good one. This is a good. I'm telling you, keep an eye on Kid Kash here. This is a really good story, which is about to start here, guys. The next segment, I guess, was the almost purposely cheesy. I remember when they did this too. The interrogators with Mike and Don, and there's like. Got the 60-minute type investigation music, and I kind of like the concept though. So what it is, it's Don and Mike.
What did you call it?
The interrogator.
Yeah, they said the interrogation, but then the card was the interrogators.
That's right. Yeah. What did you have, Jay?
Oh, I wrote down interior decorators. Continue.
It's definitely one of those days for J-Bo. No, you're right though, Bill. They called it on the card. It said the interrogators, but then they called the interrogation, something like that. It was like one way around.
Yeah, they said it was the interrogation, and then it was the interrogators was the card. So they didn't really debut the show well, shall we say. But obviously, this is very similar. This is kind of the same concept that Josh was doing on Explosion Not long ago.
That's a good point.
Here's a bunch of questions in 1 minute.
Yeah, the quick
first thing that comes to your mind. Yeah. Same concept.
But that pose that they're doing,
like the angry Tanae face and the hand on the chin, dun dun dun. You know, it's like,
and then there's Don West.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to be purposely cheesy, but man, it's just funny to see them doing. But first guess is Round the Truth Killings. I kind of like the concept though, because they didn't do a bunch of softball questions.
Yeah.
They did ask a couple of. I mean, at one point, one of the first, the word interrogated or the word association was Vince McMahon, and Ron Killings goes asshole.
Yeah. No, I'm messing around.
The irony of that one. But there's a lot. There was some good questions in there. Some good questions. I liked it though. One of those things where like, and I don't know if you guys have jotted down any of the specific questions. But
the one near the end I really liked. Okay. Well, it's obviously where he goes off. It's like, you approached Vince Russo to join S.E.X. And he's like, F you today.
Yeah. Okay, I told you about that shit. And he's just like, starts yelling at Tanae and storms off.
There's the beginning of the angry Ron Killings in this episode.
That's right. So that is the anger level of Ron Killings rises throughout this episode for sure. Goldie's in the back with Sanders and Disco. And it's just funny because like they're talking about like their respective roles, character development, character action.
Oh, this is great. This is great. And Disco starts going on about the infamous characters that he would jokingly create, like Bill. I got every one of them here. They're great.
Go ahead, write it down. Go. You go for it.
All right. He starts off Camel Toe, Moose Knuckle, Beastie Alley, and Ku Klux Annie.
And then Bill Ding, the evil architect. That was
yes.
These are classics. If anybody doesn't know the backstory is this is what Disco would do in the booking meetings to break up kind of like when they were like writer's block moments. They just have laughs and they just come and he would just come up with, Bill Ding, the evil architect. Yeah, Ku Klux Annie and something just all this wacky shit just pop the room and then they'd come back and start writing again. So this is like
that was great. I need more of this. So that's fantastic.
He tells a lot of the stories about this on the Keeping It 100 and the Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Disco show. There's a lot of talk about these segments. So because he goes on about how like the dirt sheet writers thought it was for real. Like they kept thinking like, God, Disco's so bad at creative. He came up with this kind of crap. It's like, dude, it was a joke. Like you guys take this shit way too seriously. But it's just funny. Again, I go back, guys. Mike Sanders should be working in the business in some way. That guy is very, very good at what he does. I liked him in WCW. I really did.
It is surprising that like not a peep. Like maybe he's doing stuff local to him if he's doing something, but he seems so far out of it.
Yeah, he moved on. It's not. It doesn't. Not everybody wants to stay in it, but
yeah,
he's great though. There's an episode. Anyone in the chat can find this. I don't know if you guys remember this, Bill and Jay. On Thunder, there was an episode of Thunder towards the end, Natural Born Thrillers time, and he had a vocal face-off with Ric Flair. To me, to this day, is one of the one of the most lost promos of all time, and it is one of the best moments on the mic. I'm telling you, if anybody can find this, has to be around. I want to say 2000. If anyone can find this, find that promo of Sanders and Flair going at it, and you're like, this kid's 1 year into the fucking business. It was unbelievable. If anybody can find that, just go ahead and look for it. It's on a Thunder. I know that. Unreal what this guy can do. I really would love to have him. I know he does comedy too now. He's stand-up or something. I'd love to just catch this guy again one day, see him somewhere. But moving on. I think I just saw Salmonella.
Salmonella.
Salmonella was another character. What's Salmonella do? He's like a health inspector or something. All right. So we get in the back. We get so in the middle of all this promo, BG comes in and kind of puts together a 6-man tag team about like, hey, all that shit we've been going through, we're getting attacked. 6-man tag team. So it's Killings, Zach Gowen, and Jorge Estrada taking on Sanders, Disco, and BG James. Now, they're trying with Jorge. Every week I've been talking about this, J-Bone. They really keep trying. They keep trying to resurrect the body. They're keeping him on life support here. They keep trying with goddamn Jorge Estrada, man.
I didn't know if that was Jorge Estrada or you, Trent.
And, yeah, he definitely had the disco fever here going. He was trying something, man. He had the different look going on, but I don't know. All right, plot
With the
twist.
fatigues? Come on, that's I don't know.
Here's the truth. I was Jorge. I played Jorge Estrada in TNA. That's the truth here. Okay, let's go with that. They keep trying though, man. They're trying with Jorge. Great fro. You know, he's trying to shake the gimmick. Not a bad match though, Jay. I don't know what you think. Wasn't dating too crazy, with the exception of Scott Armstrong coming down, distracting his brother, and then Truth pinning Sanders at the end of it. But nothing too crazy. Anything stick out to you?
This is the one thing that I got from this. Call me weird, but I love a solid tag match where you see a lot of back and forth, cut the ring in half, that kind of stuff. Old school. There was an incredible amount of Mike Sanders, Glenn Gilberti chemistry. If you go back to that first, especially the first half of that that match, that was that BG James was just kind of doing all sorts of stuff, which really didn't, it's BG James. He didn't impress me too much. I was much more entertained when he got with Truth and Conan, a couple years down the road. But that's what I took. That's what I took from the. But yeah, Estrada's fro, Jiminy Christmas. That was just. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, it really should. I mean, Estrada's hair by itself should be in the TNA/Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame.
It was great. It was quite magnificent in this episode.
Like just put it on a bust. Like I swear to God, I'm gonna get one for Manny Bones, and we're gonna call Manny Bones Estrada for like a month.
Yeah, when he first came out, I thought it was like Human Tornado or something. I'm like, wow, he's got to go in this time.
He reminds me a lot of what's his name, Halal Beefcake guy. What's that guy's name? I'm talking about Bill. He wrestles in Canada a lot. The dude with the big fro wrestles in Canada for oh my God, Idris Abraham.
Oh yeah, Idris Abraham. He was just on the he was at that Super X Cup, right?
Yeah, that was it. He
was in that match.
He was the
one name that really didn't fit in with the others.
Yes.
Yeah, he was part of the X division for a few tapings.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when they were rebuilding the whole company. They did the Super X Cup. They brought in Sammy Guevara, all those guys.
Yeah.
Taji Ishimori. Yeah, that was.
ACH was in there too.
ACH was in there. It was a nice group.
Yeah.
This was nothing too crazy. Scott gets involved, so they're really playing the brother angle, going with this here. But Goldie's in the back with Raven after this, talking about the match coming up with Sandman. AJ shows up. He kind of drives up, and Raven's like, "Oh, look at AJ! Can't even get out of his car." And then he hops out.
Just takes him out. My God. Just puts him into the wall.
It was intense, man. He beat the fuck out of him. I literally wrote in my notes, hops out and beats the fuck out of Raven. That's literally what I wrote down.
It's pretty accurate.
I'm like, what is he? It's like a shoot anger he's got there. I'm like,
that's what we're going to see throughout the show from Styles. A little different side of Styles.
I'm telling you, 2003 is the what you see today as probably, in my opinion, the greatest all-around wrestler of my life, my adult lifetime. Honestly, I think is AJ Styles. I think the guy just consistently is the best full performer. This is the year that defines him. 03 is what starts the ascent of AJ Styles. I mean, the 02 was almost your introduction. You know what I mean? Like, you got your introduction. It was like, here's this kid. He can do this, this, and this. 03 is where this kid starts learning the ropes of being a top guy, and it just goes up from here. I mean, by the time they get to Spike, I mean, he's the guy. He's the man at TNA. So like, it still pains me that we lost him. It still pains to this day. I think he's the one guy. He could have been our Sting, and I still look at him a lot of ways. I look at him like our Sting. He is that franchise player he defines TNA so much. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we'll ever get him back in a TNA ring. But we definitely,
it depends. Yeah, maybe there's some good brothers here.
You never know. You never know when he's retired.
Yeah,
when he's retired too. I mean, all bets are off, and you can always pop in and give a bow.
I got to imagine he at least comes back for a one-off Hall of Fame at some point.
I'd imagine so. I would like that. I think that'd be fair for us, to have that.
Because I don't think like the WWE would be like a Legends deal with him. So he wouldn't have been there long enough. So I think once he's officially retired, he could do something, some type of one-off.
Because he's done. He signed what? He's another year or two, right?
Yeah, but he signed a 2-year deal with them, saying he was going to retire after that deal. But obviously, money talks at the end, he got another deal. So as long as he can still go, we'll probably keep going. Because I know he wanted to spend time with his family and his kids.
He's got a big family.
There's big paydays there. There's big paydays there for these next couple of years. So
yeah, that's true. He's got a lot of kids now. He's got the 3 boys and a girl now too. I think you could tell by. I guess he adds the birthdays.
Puts them all, yeah.
I remember when he got that big first tattoo, and I was like, "Holy shit, what did he do?" And he keeps adding the birthdays to it. So I'm like, you see more and more, and you're like, "Son of a bitch, how many kids does this guy have now?" I knew when he was like 22, and but no, if you guys are watching along, pay attention. This is where he becomes the guy you see today. But this was intense, very interesting beatdown. Same camera shot though, guys. They zoom in on Raven, and then Golden's like, "What the hell's going on back here?" Round the corner. I'm a big sucker for the continuous camera shot.
Yeah.
Seems very real to me when something like that's happening. Where it's not a cut. It's like, you're filming this and it's like, wait, what the fuck? Wait, what? Even like, I expect the camera guy to be like, what the fuck's this? And look over there too. We turn the corner, the Rock and Roll Express are beaten down and taken out around the corner. So that's something. Keep that in mind.
They got bags over their heads.
Yeah.
Too. They got took out like mafia style.
Definitely mafia hitman style. I was like, the hell did you do to poor Ricky Morton here? Come on. No, it was that's the running theme that we get. All right, here's Bill's favorite segment of the night coming up. Is today's
first there was a nice close up of Jay's lollipop.
That's right.
And then it went to my favorite segment.
There you go. Today, sit down, David. So I'm gonna let you set this one up, Bill. What do we get here?
Well, obviously we've been seeing a lot of these sit downs with Tanae every week, and some of them they've been pretty darn good actually. Like the Conan one, like there's been BG James was good, but this one, at least for me, fell pretty flat. This is David Flair sitting down with Mike Tenay, and they're pretty much just talking about his dad. Just talking about like the Flair lineage. To me, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just really trying to, I guess, get David on the show, really was what it was, since he wasn't wrestling. And he's had some pretty big angles with Ron Killings and Sanders the last couple weeks. So it was almost just a way to squeeze him in, and it felt that way. So for me, I thought this was kind of a lost opportunity, but I see what they were doing. They were trying to get him on the show, but it didn't really. This could have been. This was like the early J.J. Dillon to me. I was ready to start snoozing on this one.
He's definitely. They tried. Jay, did you watch any of the WCW stuff with David Flair when Russo was really trying to help him out?
I remember him tagging with Crowbar a lot and running out there with Daphne. I vaguely remember that. I remember he had a feud with his dad and the whole Ric Flair heart attack thing. Wasn't that a thing too?
Yeah, a lot. I mean. Vince has said his hit thing was he really wanted to help David get something, like the kid couldn't catch. That's a huge shadow of being right. And he's like, he tried, the kid wasn't meant for it. It wasn't in there, it just was not in the cards. But
what was weird about this though is the guy's part of Sports Entertainment Extreme. He's part of S.E.X. It's Russo's group. You're supposed to boo Russo's group, right?
Yeah.
In theory here on paper. And what they almost did here with Tenay and David Flair was paint a sad baby face picture. You're supposed to feel sorry for David. That's why he wound up bitter the way he was. So it was just kind of, it felt backwards. Instead of asking the questions and David Flair kind of snapping on him heel style, like you'd seen in other ones like Conan, just the prior week or whenever that was.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
This came off almost backwards, poor David Flair. Yeah, Rick didn't do shit, So it was weird. It felt like backwards.
It kind of
a big burlap sack reveal. That would have been something. But if I don't know about the burlap sack. That's his main story going on.
That's it. And his quote to that was, "You'll know when I let you know."
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. But if I had more on that would have been something. But there was nothing.
I think I remember what's in it. I'm trying to going back in the time machine. I think I remember what's in it. I don't want to say it just in case anybody wants to be surprised, but from what I recall, I think I know. So we'll see.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Just so it was like a square pan container kind of thing. It was the box of dum-dums.
Oh.
The box of dum-dums all along.
I like it. We get another debut on this one, guys. A lot of debuts. Another one. Steve Corino, the king of old school debuts.
King of old school.
I'm a big Steve Corino fan. Huge Steve Corino fan, especially around 2003. I met him this year at an indie in Chicago, right around this time. And gets on, he's with Goldie, and he gives a little history between him and Loki. Talks about them, going to Japan together. Yeah. Talks about it. He's like, you lost your old school mentality, Loki. I'm going to beat it into you, beat the disrespect out of you, because he's the king of old school, Steve Corino. Who, honestly, and Bill, if you were there at ECW, this guy he is awesome. I'm a big Steve Corino guy.
I'm a big Steve Corino fan too. Like, he was one of the bright spots of late ECW for sure. Because he kind of was that last guy standing at the end, like him and Rhino were kind of those guys at the end of ECW. And that gimmick was a great gimmick for that period.
Awesome.
Sadly, I think it lost a little bit on this crowd. Like, I don't know if they just weren't that familiar with Steve Corino. Like, I was like, there wasn't too much pop. It's tough. That's a tough crowd. Like the nostalgics get the pop, but really, because you think it, like, he was still pretty current. Like, he was if they were ECW fans, they liked him, but he wasn't that prime ECW. He was the end. He was the gasping for air ECW.
And you're like 2 years removed from that, so he's pretty newish at this point too. He's not really like a seasoned veteran.
No,
but it's like his character's almost like a seasoned veteran type. That's the weird thing, I think he got made a little more between this year and like the next like 3 is when he really gets like super made on, because he goes to Japan.
Correct.
There's a whole feud with Hashimoto and everything. Like, he goes.
That's not what he was doing. Like, he pretty much went from ECW to Japan, and so people he's already been out of the limelight really for a little bit in the States. Yeah. So this is kind of the first time they're seeing him if they watched ECW at the end.
And he's the former NWA champion at this point, which today does mention. Which they
he does put that over, which is good.
Yeah, I know. Jay, you a Corino guy at all? You watch Corino at all?
Not really. That's one.
I think
guy,
you'd like him though. You'd like him. He's your kind of wrestler though, for sure.
That's one of the you could say legends of ECW lore that I know probably the least about. I know he was more in that last year or two of the old ECW, but I know he was loved as far as I can gather. For people talk about, he's still I think he's still a coach at NXT. Don't quote me on.
I believe he is.
He is.
I know his son is
Colby.
or was
Colby Corino.
He's coming up. He's been around for a handful of years, and
he's been around now. Like, he was the towel boy in Ring of Honor. He's still, I think, pretty local to me out here in PA, and he does a lot of indie shows around here. And then he was doing a lot with Evolve, who's now gone, we know, but I think you'll kind of see him. I think he maybe even work some dark matches for WWE.
Yeah. So it's interesting with Corino. Now, I thought I was wrong about this. I thought he was actually going to come in a lot sooner, and he was going to come in under one of the wrestling, all dressed in white, hooded, masked. I thought that was going to be him.
He wasn't Mr. Wrestling.
I was dead wrong on that one. Now, what's interesting here is now I put in the description of this the debut of Corino, but I remember now they said during this that he was actually in one prior match, was in the first episode in that Gauntlet for the Gold. I don't remember him in the Gauntlet for the Gold.
I don't remember it either.
I remember Shamrock and Hall. And there was, some other significant names, and then a bunch of indie guys, and a very young Abyss ran out and had his first,
now that you mention it, I think he was. Yeah, I do remember it now. You're right. It wasn't really a debut, because I do recall now, because they were getting they made an. I remember that now, because he was former NWA champion. They referenced that. Now it's starting to ring a bell. You're right. It really wasn't a debut. That's right.
Yeah, I'll call this the debut, though, honestly, just because
actual match.
Yeah, because it's been, what did they say? We're on 32. It's been 31 weeks. So I'll call this the debut.
Plus, I remember he got eliminated like super quick. He was out fast.
That's why I barely remembered. They're like, oh yeah, he was in that gauntlet for the gold in the first episode.
Yeah, totally forgot about that. Interesting. Yeah. But here's what gets me, guys. And I hope you guys know what I'm getting at with this. So Corino enters. Okay, all right. Loki's in there. Loki's in the ring, right? Corino enters the ring to Abyss's music.
He does.
That damn music getting replayed again.
How many? I wish we kept notes on how many guys came out to this music during episode.
That was the go-to music, man.
We're on at least 5 or 6 right now.
At least
5 or 6 over the last 30-some weeks.
Because it's definitely, Abyss's Prince Justice. It's Monty Brown. It's Corino. There's a bunch of random ones in there, and I know if we go back and listen to our reviews, we'll catch them. But I regret not writing this down now because I'm like, this should be a game. How many fucking people came out to this music?
I'll tell you, it almost seemed like, did this really happen? Or did they have music they had to just they're just throwing Abyss music over every song that they can no longer use?
Happened. I'm not even.
It's one thing. Think about that.
It's happened throughout history. 2, 3 guys have had the same music.
Yes.
It went to one guy, they changed it, gave it to another guy. But the amount of times it's happening is almost crazy right now.
Well, I'll even say this. The music Loki's coming out to the Japanese kind of traditional Japanese music. I mean, they use that theme song for every Japanese guy that's ever come to TNA. I'm like, when Tanahashi was there, when Nakamura, I mean, every Japanese guy who came to TNA got that music. So I know they're notorious for doing this in those days. They absolutely have done this for sure. And it even happens in recent years, like Sammy's, Jay, you pointed out, Sammy Callahan's ICU music was Shotzi Blackheart's music, right? Didn't you point this out to me?
Yeah, it's you could say an independent band from, I can't remember where, but yeah, over the last, I'd say, handful of years, like 3 or 4 years, it's been used. It was used for some promo in a women's tag match in WWE. All sorts of brands have used this. Yeah, so it's funny.
But just like TNA, even like that, I remember. They've done it a bunch. I know when I hear it, I catch it. I'm like, oh shit, that's somebody else's music, and you just know when that happens. But the Abyss music guys, that's a good point you bring up though, Bill. Are they overdubbing it? But something tells me they're not. Something tells me.
Yeah, well, like you had and I don't know if you remember this because I don't. Obviously it was the fake Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Was it the fake Enter Sandman, or did that audience hear the real Enter Sandman?
No, because I know they were good about getting the Muzak versions because it was aired on pay-per-view.
Okay.
It was live on pay-per-view at the time. So I mean they were Muzak in this stuff, and that was for sure.
Because not long before that, ECW was just letting it fly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got away with murder in ECW. On TV, no licensing paid, nothing. They got away with murder on that shit. I heard something insane that for that one night only in 2005. Which did you go to that, Bill? Were you at that one night only?
I did not go to that one night only.
They paid Metallica $9,500 to use that song just for that night for the Sandman to actually come out for that song, and they rounded down.
You know what? That was well worth it.
It was because that was made the most.
That was a steal. I got to imagine the band liked it for that. They had to have a soft spot because knowing their history with their music rights, they felt they were letting it go at $9,500.
Yeah, and they got paid for it. What that's all you didn't get paid for, So, and I think it gets overdubbed on the DVD. I think they took it out, but
just limited for live.
But this was a good match, and this was a real old school match. I liked it. This was back and forth. A lot of just psychology. These two guys are good at psychology, like Loki or not nowadays, because of his mask issues. A lot of people turned on him recently, but the guy can work, and Corino can work, and these two have good chemistry. On the kick out, Loki slapped Scar Armstrong in the face, which
I
thought it was an accident at first. To be honest, it looked like an accident.
Well, they played it off as all intentional.
Oh yeah, they did. Armstrong DQs him. Corino's pissed. Post-match beatdown. AMW comes in and attacks Loki. He leaves. The New Church come in and then chase Loki out. It's like all these guys are like, fuck, they're after Loki for all the shit he's been pulling tonight. So it's just I love the continuous shot. It's like post-match beatdown from Corino. AMW comes in. Loki bolts. As he's bolting, here comes the new church. Like, all this shit is happening. It's like, I look at it like, it's great to pull. How do you pull that off? Like, that timing is just so impeccable. I mean, live.
Now, Trent,
yeah,
I don't know how you saw this, but at least to me, it seemed like Loki's been disqualified, but no winner.
Did they not announce a winner?
They did not. To me, they did not announce that Steve Corino won the match. It almost felt like the held up titles. It's like he's been disqualified, therefore the match is over.
I thought
that's weird.
I got to imagine in the record books they gave Steve Corino a win here, but they did not announce it. I don't know if the mic just got cut off, because I noticed Borash's mic was going in and out. Like when he tried to follow Russo at one point, it wasn't picking up any audio.
It was out. Yeah, it definitely did cut.
So
I
wonder if that just got cut. Like it was said, but we didn't hear it.
It could be. It could be. On the official results, they give it a DQ win to Corino.
They do give it, like, because it seemed like weird, but holding up titles on a double pin's pretty weird too. So.
Yeah, that too. So, I'm looking at the official results in the books. It's a DQ win for Corino. So that, but you're right. They didn't really announce it. Now, come to think of it, it was very loose in that sense. It was more focused on the beatdown afterwards.
Yeah, that's what they were. They were following that. Result didn't matter.
Jerry Lynn gets an interview with Goldilocks here. He's asked for the time, and he's just, he's kind of serious. He's talking about, he's like, I got to give credit to Vince Russo because he motivated me after all this buzz he's created. He motivated me to focus more on what really used to define this place. And he goes, before all this was going on, me and AJ Styles used to pack this house with X Division matches. We were the main event here. And he goes, now it's my mission to reestablish the X Division and win that tournament. There's another tournament now to go after Kid Kash. So, kind of putting Jerry Lynn back on the turn. They're kind of setting him up as the veteran X Division guy now. Mm-hmm. They're putting him back in here.
Yeah, with a bunch of kids.
With a bunch of kids. That's what this match really was. It was like veteran Jerry versus all the young guys. And you could see that veteranness come out. But this was a gauntlet match, guys. This was you had 8 guys. Shark Boy.
8 man, yeah.
8 man. This is I love gauntlet matches. Now this is what we're gonna expect.
Love the gauntlet.
Gauntlet's fun. We're going to get the gauntlet at Slammiversary. Don't forget that, guys. We got a gauntlet knockouts match coming in. I'm a huge fan of the gauntlet style. I think it's the 2-star to a winner, another one pops in. That to me is like that's like a playoff. That's like live playoffs. And having all rounds of the playoffs in one match is what that feels like to me.
And this is a big debut in this match.
Huge debut. We're going to talk about it. So Shark Boy, Jose Maximo, Joel Maximo, David Young, Tony Mamaluke, Jimmy Rave, Jerry Lynn, and the debuting Paul London. This guy, 22 years old.
So good.
I didn't see too. No, here's the thing. I know Paul London from the bits and pieces I've seen. I saw him in TNA. He did some Ring of Honor stuff. I know he was in WWE, had a decent run there. I didn't watch enough of him there. I know he was kind of known to be a real take it easy kind of guy, kind of a little bit of a goof off. Not really like as into the business as a lot of people wished he would be. Just kind of took it easy, more focused on being an actor. But man, what a natural athlete this kid is, right? Like he was, and he doesn't really wrestle anymore. Is he out of the business now?
Well, he was an agent at the Vegas tapings for Impact.
That's right. He was. I forgot about that. That's right. So he is still in good grace with the family, though.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, I think just when they go to the West Coast, but yeah.
Okay. I think he's, whatever I've seen of him, he's awesome.
Yeah, and he was very good in Lucha Underground too. With that crazy stable.
Just gonna mention that.
Go ahead, J-Bone.
So he was there.
Him.
He was there with Cross. Cross was in his group.
Yeah, and one other guy.
He was the White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played kind of the Mad Hatter kind of character, very kind of.
I gotta go back and watch. I gotta watch some Lucha Underground. I know Jason.
That's some good stuff in Lucha Underground. His stuff.
Just an acid trip. It was great. He was so good. And
not that you would know what that is, Trent.
No,
I wouldn't know what that is.
I'm drinking Pellegrino for God's sake, guys. What the fuck do I know about stimulation? but no, Jay's been on me to watch some Lucha Underground. He's been on me. But
I believe you can watch it for free, right?
It's on Tubi.
Tubi.
It's on Tubi for free. It is 4 seasons. And if you want to see the best thing to come out of this last decade that blew up the whole industry, because I'd say about 90% of the roster is everywhere between Impact, AEW, and WWE. They're just everywhere. So, yeah, if you want to go see the show that everybody just went nuts for, it was a cult following. And it really did reintroduce Lucha Libre to the United States.
Yeah, and I will give it my seal of approval. I went out to the temple once.
Did you really?
I went for luckily I was able to get tickets for like when one of the raffles went, like they went live, and I just happened to see a tweet like immediately, and I was able to get like 3 days. So like they did like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm like, but it was like for next week. Then I booked the flight.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the one where like I went to like the Oscars were around there. And then I was in like the Jimmy Kimmel skit in a movie theater when I was out there.
Were you really?
Like on the Oscars. Yeah, I was in the background.
Funny.
So like it was a fun little weekend escape. But and I don't know if you watched. Did you watch Wrestling Society X on MTV?
I got the DVD.
This was like taking it to the next level. That's what Lucha Underground was.
I saw season 1. I did watch season 1. But I didn't finish after that. But Wrestling Society X, I was a big fan. My good buddy.
I love
Keith,
Wrestling Society X.
Oh, my one of my dear friends, Dr. Keith Lipinski, is a producer at AEW with me. He was one of the head guys at Wrestling Society X, along with Kevin Kleinrock. He was one of the head producers there. So I hear all the stories, like the insider shit that went on there. Like they flew him out and he did all this stuff. The stories he could tell you about Wrestling Society X are very interesting. But I think I'm going to go back. I'll watch Lucha Underground. I think that's maybe I'll fill in my gaps with that. I'm watching a lot of Gordon Ramsay stuff lately, guys. I'm telling you, I'm watching so much Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen Nightmares. At 2 a.m. last night, I started making dough. Just prepping dough to make bread. I was like, the fuck am I doing? Nicole texts me at like 1:32 in the morning. She's like, what are you still doing up? Because she could see if I'm active on a messenger or something. And I'm like, meal prepping for the rest of the weekend. She's like, what?
Well, at least you're eating. We're worried about the trend.
No, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. But no, this is good. This is an action pack. This is really cool. I'm going to go down just the list of how the gauntlet went. So Shark Boy starts off with Joel. Sharky pins Joel. Jimmy Rave pins Shark Boy. Mama Luke pins Rave. David Young pins Mama Luke, that was a good face-off. I like that one a lot. Then also Jerry taps out David Young, another great fan. David Young is a lost gem. I swear to God, and you'll see more and more.
On fire in this one.
He's great. Then the final is Jerry pinning Paul London with the cradle pile driver. I wrote 5-star finish. This was a great match. You could see London's a little nervous, a little shaky here going against the veteran. He had some moments in this one where you could see him. You see AJ, he was kind of like, you get to see Jerry kind of slow him down and just guide him along. Did you catch any of that?
I saw that they slowed down a couple spots, and they were you could you got the earbuds in, and you can hear just a little bit of the audio going on inside of the ring, a little bit of the communication, nothing like you could actually understand, but you could tell where they were like, okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, you good? I got it. Yeah. Okay, just very little bit of that, but man, Paul London was so good here. And they gave that last match in this gauntlet over 15 minutes. It was just on fire between Lynn and London.
It was real cool, man. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed watching them go. I was like, man, I really wish Paul London had a lot longer of a run, because he leaves TNA pretty much. He goes he's at WWE with Kendrick like a year later after this. Am I right?
Not. I don't think it's that long after this. Yeah, I mean, probably by, if not a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years tops.
Yeah, he's gone. He's there for what? Maybe a handful of years, Jay?
Yeah. He was there for a couple of years, and then he went to WWEF, whatever it was at the time, and he had just an insane run with Brian Kendrick as tag champs for about a year, give or take a little bit.
They had a long run.
It was one of the longest runs on, I believe, SmackDown.
I believe you're right.
And they were the crowd was always hot for them, because they always came down to the ring 100 miles an hour, man. I love those guys. But then I don't know what happened. He got sour on them. And
I know what happened. I heard what got him fired was basically got him in shit grace. So they were in that backstage, I guess, the Death of Vince McMahon segment when Vince is walking down the hallway and everybody's kind of bowing their heads and the whole talent's around him. And London and Kendrick are laughing Like, because that's such a cheesy scene, and you can see him. I've actually gone back and watched it because I think Paul London was on Colt Cabana's podcast talking about it, and you see London, like, it's a whole this somber scene, and Vince is walking through, like, to his death, basically, and you see London and Kendrick just, just laughing. And I think he said that's that, and the fact that he smokes cigarettes because Vince hates cigarettes. So that's what got him sour in WWE. But London, like, you can tell, he's not a lifer for the business. He's not one of those guys who lived and died for the wrestling business. He's good at it. He did it when he does, and he gets out of it when he's not into it. He's an actor now. That's what he does. So I'm fine with that. I admire people who can cut away when they have to. This is a good match though. Jerry wins, goes right into the he's the number one contender. But this was interesting, guys, because Conan jumps in. And he interrupts and runs down, and all the guys are in there. All the contenders are in there cheering Jerry. Hey, way to go! And this was fun. Bill, you want to talk about this one? Conan gets right in Jerry's face.
Yeah, this was fun. So Conan comes out, calls him out, talks about his time as Mr. JL.
Mr. JL.
And pretty much that, like, he was wrestling the luchador style, but he's not a luchador. And then Jerry has a great response to him, saying, like, I'm the one that, like, showed that, like, I could make a good match with these guys.
Yeah.
And then he gets on Conan saying, well, you don't have that high flying style. Like, you're no Juventud. You're no Mysterio. And then he's like, well, I still sold out all these places in Mexico. So, but it was that, like, so they're obviously getting into it. And then obviously you get a turn. You get a turn from guests of the podcast.
Yeah, that was interesting. Jay, this was so the line I wrote down was, and I'm sure Dane Jay might have this too. He writes down these one-liners, but Jerry says, he tells me, you're just bitter and jealous because you can't wrestle our style. And I did like that response that he gave Conan. He's like, the reason I wrestled all these guys is I'm the one who can make them look good, because nobody else could.
Right.
Like Hoovy, Ray, Psychosis, he talks about all those guys. But then the turn, man. Jay, our buddies, the SATs, man.
Oh.
What happens? You're on. Tell the people what happened.
The comeback guy, just out of nowhere. Everyone's backing up, Jerry Lynn. They were just congratulating him moments earlier, and they're all around, kind of hovering around, just like listening to these two go back and forth. And all of a sudden, the SATs and turn on the rest of the X division, along with Conan. So Conan's not alone now. He's got the SATs by him. Very interesting. I did not know. I did not expect that one bit.
Yeah, it was interesting, man. He turns. So they turn. They beat down Jerry and everything, and then he's walking towards the Sex locker room, and Russo comes out, and he's like, "Hey, you're doing this. You cost my guy. You injured my guy last week. He lost the belt today. I gotta know whose side you're on. Like, who are you working with?" And you hear the mic. This is where the mic's cutting out, Bill. This is where, like, the mic you could hear it from the camera mic, but not the actual microphone. Yeah. But you hear Conan go, "I don't have to tell you shit." That's what I caught there. So Conan's up in question here. And I also want to mention, people have been talking about in the chat. A couple guys mentioned it. Conan's mother, I guess, passed away today. So rest in peace. Condolences to Conan's mom. I didn't realize. So Amir and Hakeem pointed it out earlier. So I didn't know that. I didn't catch that today. But no, it's interesting. Who is Conan with? Or he's just doing his own thing. But I do like where they're going with him. I like where they're kind of going with him, and making him out to be this rebel against kind of bitter guy against all the shit that he helped create, and everybody's taking his stuff from him. So that was one thing. But interesting. We'll see where that one develops. All right, Goldie with Jorge Estrada. Oh, yeah, something else, Jay? Go ahead.
I read that news about Conan this morning while we were, like, taking my pop to the hospital. So I saw that headline, and I'm like, oh no. And then I read someone else. Please forgive me for not remembering who, but someone else. Mm-hmm. Some other headline came, like, literally minutes after that. Someone else lost their boots. I want to say it was Vince's wife's or Vince McMahon's mother-in-law. I want to say it was something like that. And I was like, oh, geez, Louise. Mm-hmm. So that didn't exactly put me in the greatest mood this morning, reading all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, no. But Pops is not going to be number 3. No.
Yeah, a little rough day. I got a little worried. My mom was like, I got a little bit of a fever today. You know, you hear that and you're freaking out. You know, I'm like, oh shit. So I was losing my mind today with my mom saying she had a bit of a fever today. So I was a little nervous. But you know, hey, let's hope everybody's feeling good by tomorrow. It's been a weird week. It's a weird week, guys. It's a strange week. But all right, let's keep going here. Goldie to the Jorge Estrada says he's flying solo now. He's done. Killings interrupts, says he says no more questions. I'm done answering questions with you people. She chases him outside to get some more answers, and we see same continuous shot. Sanders and Disco laid out. Who keeps attacking these guys? We got to find out. So we're going to find out in just a second here. All right, here we are, guys. Last segment, main event. Sandman and Raven Falls Count Anywhere match. This was a great brawl, Bill. They went at it. This was all the arena.
Yeah, this was good. This was good. This was reminiscent of like an ECW match. This was everywhere. This was up in the crow's nest. This was at the cage dancers. This was everywhere.
They brought guardrails in.
Yeah, and they both were kind of getting it in on each other. But it was some classic. This was a great Raven match. Obviously, we get that pest again. He had to make his presence felt on this match.
Loki comes in here and causes all sorts of bullshit. You know, he gets in there and he attacks them. Well, so they're at the crow's nest by kind of where, from what I remember, they sell the merch in that corner. I think they had it at that corner during Homecoming too, at the Homecoming paper in that same little spot. There's a bit of a crow's nest there for the upper deck seating. And they're all up there. Sandman's posing. Here comes Loki, and he just throws Sandman off through the merch table, whatever it is.
Through the table.
It was a bit of a fall, though. I got to say, like, wasn't a bad fall, man. He kind of took a nice, like, flip fall into that. Looked a little rough. Raven got the pin. Corino comes out, attacks Loki. Sports Entertainment Xtreme comes out, starts beating down Sandman, Corino. They kind of go to hang them in the ring almost.
Like the opener, what they did to Jarrett last week.
Yes. They're kind of hanging both of them on one side. And then here comes Jeff Jarrett, man. Superman save.
I was just going to say Super Jarrett.
Super Jarrett comes in here, man. He flew in with the Superman save. Starts beating everybody down. The crowd was, you know what? I'll say this. Like Jarrett or not for the Superman shit, I got to say, when it's done right, it's fine because you built up all night where the babyfaces are just getting fucked all night. They just keep getting fucked by these heels. They're always getting jumped and nobody can get an advantage. It's like at this point you're dying for a babyface to just take the reins and take these guys out, you know, and like you're ready for it. So that's why I think it was done so right that by this point you needed the faces to kind of get a little bit of a win because they've been fucked all night.
Oh,
and that's what the crowd ate it up. And the crowd was like, you necessarily don't have to be a Jarrett fan. The crowd ate it up because it was like this was logically, it's like, yeah, we got something here. These guys got their comeuppance a little bit before the show went off the air. What helped it, the New Church came in. They start helping out Jarrett, but this is where it got nuts, guys. Jay, I'm going to let you close it out with the last moment of the show. This is where it got intense because you mentioned it earlier about this particular guy and his intensity.
Yeah, Jarrett comes down. He kind of rescues Corino and Sandman, both getting hung up on opposite sides of the ring there. Then all of a sudden, just as things start to make the turn for the good guys, Styles shows up and takes out Jarrett to just put that little last wedge because that's going to be the headliner next week.
Yeah. The Styles clash was a little choppy on the chair.
Choppy. Yeah, it wasn't the cleanest Styles clash that we've seen. But
it was on the chair, so it looked. I mean,
yeah, it was on the chair, but it kind of looked just more like a lay down on the chair. Like it didn't really have the effect of the normal Styles clash. But I think we'll get better next week. Is my feeling. Yeah,
that's it was a little rough. So, but yeah, next we're gonna get the great match. So that was it, man. That was NWA-TNA number 32. I got to ask a quick question. Mr. Fretz, he says that record a podcast with Nate and you're ending. Was it my friend Nate, referee Nate? Who are you recording with? I need to know who's Nate. But that was it, guys. That was number 32. That was a good one. I really enjoyed this one. This was, if I paid $10, I got my money's worth on this one.
Oh no, it's Nate. I know who Nate. It's not your Nate. It's a Nate that was
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey man, I enjoyed it. Fun stuff. Bill, did you enjoy it? Had fun?
Oh yeah. I thought this was a good one. And like I said, I felt this one was more wrestling heavy, and I like that. Because I felt like maybe the last week or two were more promo heavy. So this was more that even balance, but a little more wrestling, which is good, or maybe just the promos weren't as long this episode. They were cut down. And that really felt like it was more evenly paced, which I enjoyed. No, this was a good one. You can definitely see, and I'm enjoying this Styles build. Like that's obviously what I'm taking out of this going forward. Is even though he wasn't on it a lot, he made his presence felt. But probably low key was the star of this episode.
I'd say, and Loki definitely dictated a lot of the flow of this episode, no question. He was in it's like 4 segments, 5 maybe. The guy was all over the place.
Several, yeah, coming in and interfering in the tag matches, and then he had his own match later. That ending was just screwy. That's still bad. It was the one thing that kind of bothered me. It was like the eye poke to the ref, and it's like, really? It's like no, you don't want to lose clean. No, I'd rather lose dirty. Eye poke. What?
It was a weird one.
All right.
It was a strange one. That was a weird little ending.
But he was on fire in this one, and it was great seeing Sandman, and the fact that Sandman was in a few different segments and was tearing up the joint and was, getting that pop from the crowd. It definitely felt a little more one side, even though there was a lot of, sex segments,
Yeah, you get Sandman, you let Sandman go crazy. That's what Sandman's there for.
That's true. He's wild, man. But that was it. I like the show a lot. This is a really fun show. Like I said, Bill, not too promo heavy, a lot good balance of action and promos. They furthered everything. I'm excited for 33. Like you got me built up nice for 33. So
I can't wait for AJ versus
it's a big one.
AJ versus Jarrett. I can't wait. It's because just watching the evolution of Styles from the first episode till now is just been nothing but I'll say it. It's been a blessing to watch his first half year in the business, on East. It's just crazy.
It's crazy, man, to see where this guy started and what he ends up becoming. So, but I enjoyed it, boys. That was it. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight. That was definitely a fun one. Next week we're gonna do number 33. So we got we have the big event, AJ and Jeff Jarrett title match, and so that's what we're looking forward to. So let's go and get this thing
lead in the Slammiversary.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. That'll be the official Slammiversary lead in is gonna be that. So does anybody know what happened with that court case with Jarrett? Was that today or that was last Wednesday? What
it got postponed.
Again?
A few things got dismissed, but they got when they put the date. I think it's just after Slammiversary, like the 21st, 22nd, something like that.
Again with the postponement, huh?
I know some of the things are thrown out, like some of the stuff the judge dismissed those, but there's a couple still out there.
Oh my God, things like the court case, they'll never end. All right, well, let's get it wrapped up here. It's been about an hour and a half. Let's get things wrapped. Bill, where can people follow you on social media, connect with you?
Yeah, mainly on Twitter at my name at William M Gardner Gardner.
There you go, guys. Get with Bill there. He's a social media guy now. He's available. You got questions about TNA tapings or Impact tapings? It's a guy to talk to right here. So how it works, Bill, are you doing the celebration?
I am doing the celebration, and they are teasing that you might get some hints at what's going to happen later that night. So maybe I'll pass some nuggets along. So
I just saw what they're offering for it. It's kind of a good fucking deal, man.
If you look at it, like you get a shirt. If you're looking at like a $25 gift certificate, even though I like the rag on PWI at times. You get a 3-month subscription to that.
I was shocked for giving that away. I was like, oh, you guys.
Well, now it's making sense why Tommy wore the shirt. There's more of a connection going on, which maybe that's a good thing. Hey, if you tell me 6 months from now or a year from now they're recognizing the world title again and they're covering more Impact Wrestling, then okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like if that's what it's going to be, like get nice with them, then that's fine. But if they're just going to keep disrespecting you, then I don't agree with it, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's like autographed photos, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, autographs, photos, like pretty much how I look at it. And anyone that's done the VIP, it's kind of almost doing a virtual VIP experience because they're going to do trivia. I think they're doing like a cameo video. So if you kind of include all that, it is kind of worth it. It's kind of like covers the cost. So I think they're still available. I think they're only doing 100 though, the limited. So definitely, if you want to support Impact at this time, not a bad idea.
I think it's a great idea. I find it fantastic. The shirt and gift certificate alone is worth $50.
There's $50 right there.
So it's like
get some photos. That's probably another $25.
You're getting your money's worth.
Magazine, you're
no questions asked. So Jay, I think definitely that's something to look into. No question. But let people know where they can find you, Jay. What you're doing, other brands you're talking about. You had a guest on your one of your other podcasts last night that we all know about. Where can they find you?
The other little podcast called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling. We just did the night 2 of AEW Fighter Fest. Cheap plug, and and we had Basil Easy was on with me. He snuck his way onto the show, and he actually might become a Wednesday night regular now.
Whoa!
Because we're both AEW fans, and so it might be it's not like a dead set thing, but I told him, I said, give me a day in advance. Let me know if you're free. If you're free, and I'll send you the link. We can do AEW. So the brand of Smash This Podcast is always evolving. And I've been so busy with everything. It's like I hadn't really given too much thought to inviting people on to help me with stuff, Mm-hmm. So he was like, let me in, and I'm like, all right. Well, you can find Smash This just knock. You can find Smash This Podcast also on Facebook, the Twitter box, and Instagram. You can find me over on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150.
Very nice. Guys, you can follow me at Hemi Music, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, HemiMusic.com, HEMIMUSIC. Pick up a t-shirt, merchandise, got all sorts of stuff. Best way to support me. Also support the show, ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. 3 designs up there. That 4th one we got rejected. Bill's rocking one of the shirts. Throwback shirt. Very appropriate, though. We had a design submitted. It got rejected because we got to tweak it a little bit. So got to fix it a little bit. But there's a new design coming. 4th shirt will be up there very soon, guys. So definitely keep an eye for that. But go ahead and pick one up in the meantime. You guys can follow the show at We Talk Impact. The link is at the bottom there. We Talk Impact, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Type in We Talk Impact, all one word, or Total Nonstop Impact Podcast. We come right up. We're on every major podcast platform, guys. Take the show on the run with you. Audio, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Geo7, you name it. Soon to be on Pandora, too. I didn't know Pandora did podcasts, but they're doing them. All soon to be on Pandora also. So we're on everything. Get on there, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell somebody. Tell Jeff Jarrett. We're talking about him every week. Maybe when the lawsuit's over, he'll maybe want to join the show one of these days. We'll see. But definitely, I hope you guys are enjoying the Throwback Show. We will be back here, guys, Sunday night, the Impact Plus Weekly, talking Explosion, little Slamversary stuff, open forum. And don't forget, guys, Bison is releasing a new video tomorrow as well. Bison's got a little thoughts on Slamversary. He's talking a little Slamversary thoughts from the UK. How the British see Slamversary, with their style, with their eyes across the pond. So I'll be putting that up in just a little bit, and I'll be ready for tomorrow. So definitely check that out as well. So check out Bison. And I think that's going to do it for us. Anybody else? Did I miss anything, boys?
I know a lot of people are asking when we're doing predictions. Because we've got the Impact Plus, Q&A show that we do Sunday nights. We've got the review on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
We got the Throwback on Thursday. When are we doing predictions? A lot of people are asking. What do you think?
Well, we can make it a short show. We could do it either depending on, because I'd like to see the go home show before we do predictions. I say we do depending on how long it takes to get through the go home, we can do it Tuesday night, or we'll do it Wednesday. Let's aim for Wednesday to do a prediction show. 30-minute quick prediction show. We're not talking anything too heavy. Just something to put out there for you guys once the go home airs.
You competing with Mox versus Cage there, Trent.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll fly by the seat of our pants. Maybe we'll do that Friday.
I'm just saying.
We'll do the night before.
You know what? What we also could do is if we do it the night that we usually do the throwback. If we skip a throwback and put in the predictions, maybe. I don't know. It's up in the air. We'll see.
We'll definitely announce it, guys, at We Talk Impact on Twitter. So we'll announce it there first when we're going to do it. So keep in tune with us there. We'll make sure to get you guys enough advance on that. So, all right, that's going to do it. Jay, cue up the exit video, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Sunday night on Impact Plus Weekly. Good night, everybody.
See you.
See ya.
Find me the name of this garbage show again that I'm on.
Total Nonstop Impact.
My name's Sean, capital letter E, period, Bravo, and you're listening to the Total Nonstop Impact Podcast.
This is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, Rohit Raju, and you are watching Total Nonstop Impact.
This is Taya La Güera Loca, and you are listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
The Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and you're listening to Total Nonstop Impact.
We are the Rascals. And you are listening to Total
Nonstop
Impact Podcast, baby.
Woo! And what you're really listening to is Total Nonstop Impact. Don't you dare miss a lesson. Oh, yeah.